Hey everyone, it's Tina, Vintage Revitalized, and it is Memorial Day. It's about 2 o'clock and it's already 97 degrees here. So started out this morning setting up a pool for the kids. So they're outside right now. It's hot. So I look like this right now, but I thought if I didn't get on here to do a video, I probably never would do it. So I wanted to show you guys, I said that I would do a video to show you what I'm learning right now while I'm getting this blending kind of figured out. So let me show you what's going on here. Okay, so I'm working on this piece. It's really pretty. It's heavy, heavy, heavy. So what I've been working on is I'm using 3 colors. So I'll show you lightest to darkest. So the lightest color I'm using, Vintage Duck Egg. Next we have my medium, Palmetto, which looks really dark, but when you paint, it doesn't have as much pigmentation, let's say, as something darker, like caviar black. So I'm also using my darkest color that you see is Antebellum blue. Okay, so I know I have some streaks on here a little bit, but I'm just working on it. So you can kind of, in this lighting too, see we're going dark, medium, light, right? So medium, I'm sorry, light, medium to dark. So for me, blending horizontally isn't too bad. Leo, it's my guy right here. So it's easier for me to blend kind of like up and down. And I can still kind of show that too. What has been a little bit more difficult to get the concept and get it right, and I'm really liking this, is kind of blending in this more circular, rectangular overall motion. So in here you can see, come here boo. So over here you can see in the middle, light, medium, dark, dark, medium, light. And then it goes actually up to the dark again. So I'm gonna work on the other side. Let me show you that. Thank God for rollers because this thing is a beast. Okay, so this is what it looked like when I got my, I think this was my 2nd coat done. Come here, guy. So you can see here that it's not blended as evenly, and I want to kind of enclose a little bit more my darker shades into the middle. So that's what I'm going to work on, okay? Okay, you guys, so I've already shown you that I'm working with 3 colors to accomplish this look, right? So now let me tell you what you're going to need to have ready to go. So for each color, you're going to need a different brush. So I'm using a round for Klingon for my Vintage Duck Egg. I'm using the Dixie Belle 1.5 inch. This is the flat medium for my Antebellum blue. I'm using the mini Dixie Belle. This is a 2 inch, so this is the mini, and I'm using that for my Palmetto. Now I have a 4th brush, which I found so far that I like this the best. I think it's the shape and the size of it. It's a Klingon. This is their Shorty, the S50. This is gonna be my clean brush that I'm gonna use to blend. Okay, so you'll just have to know that this is the brush that I'm using. I also need, for sure, water. Trust me on this. This is, I think, like the key that I was kind of missing. I didn't realize how much. And I also have a couple rags handy to keep my blending brush as clean as possible, okay? So I'm just gonna be constantly doing that. So for the rest of this video, you're not gonna get to see this beautiful face while I'm painting. You guys, I am a mess today, so sorry. Okay, I'm gonna work on this and you get to watch. Okay, you guys, so just as a heads up, so after each time I paint and it dries, I go through and I use like a really old sanding block and I just smooth it down. You're not like sanding it. You're just basically, you'll feel like after your paint has dried, it's going to be kind of rough. And after you go through with like I would say the highest grit, the better. Like an old sanding block, a 400, 220, probably at the most. Go through and get that smooth feeling, and also that's going to help to knock off any little peaks that may have been left from your paint, okay? So this is dry right now. What I'm going to start with is some water, and I'm going to start with my medium color, okay, which is the Palmetto. So right now my water is basically, I'm just spraying it in this area, okay? Oh, and another really important fact, I have my fan on pretty high right now, and I'm going to turn it down. I'm basically going to turn it off. This paint dries really quickly, and you want to be able to have some more time to before it dries on you. So I'm going to start with my Palmetto, and I'm basically just putting it on in the area, the vicinity of where I know I want it to be, okay? So I'm starting with my medium color on purpose. And I'll tell you why in just a little bit. So keep in mind, you guys, there's a reason why my first and second coat didn't look great. What I've realized is that there wasn't really a way for it to look right, because it's not going to be until like the third coat of paint until you can really kind of start getting your working off of your foundation. So I hope that makes sense, okay? So my Palmetto is on there. Now, instead of going to the center, I'm going to work on the outer part, okay? So now I'm spraying more water. This is my Antebellum blue. Sorry if I said Palmetto. So I'm putting it up into the area that I want it to be, okay? And the Antebellum blue, I'm actually pulling all the way down to the bottom. I swear to God, I hope you guys cannot see my legs or anything, because I didn't care today. And like I said, if I didn't get on here and just did this, it wasn't gonna happen. And I really wanted to make sure that I got on here, because I feel like something clicked, and hopefully I'm not full of it and I can recreate what I've been working on. Okay, so now my Palmetto is on and my Antebellum blue. I'm gonna work over here a little bit too, so let me put a little bit of my Palmetto, and I'm gonna pull my Antebellum blue over just a little bit too. Okay, so right now it's pretty obvious what I have going on. So I'm gonna spray a little bit more water. I swear to you, this is like the key. You don't want so much to where it's dripping. I have my rag handy, and now my blending brush, okay? So I'm gonna go darker to lighter. I'm gonna start with my Antebellum blue, and I am going up into my Palmetto, okay? And I'm trying to like almost like erase it a little bit and start blending it. And then when I get to these corners, I'm doing a crisscross. Okay, so again over here, I'm starting at my dark and I'm working in. And I'm not worried too much about this center part because I'm going to end up going back and adding the vintage duck egg. Okay, so now it shouldn't be as easy to determine where what is, right? Okay, and I'm gonna end up doing this, trust me, probably like 20 times. Because every time I do this kind of crisscross, I'm getting a little bit up here and I wanna kind of clean it back pretty. Okay. And again, every time I'm going like this, every time. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. I know it looks weird, but just trust me. Okay, so now I'm gonna work on this center, okay? Again, I'm bringing in my medium and putting like in the vicinity of where my color is. And I want this to match the other side, right? So for the vintage duck egg, which is my lightest color, I'm not putting a lot. I can always add more. Okay, so I'm using my light color brush right now to go from the center out, however that is. So center, out. Wipe it, center, out. Okay, I'm gonna spray more. And now I'm gonna go around the perimeter of my area, and I'm gonna do again the opposite. Outer in, dark in. Okay, watch. Right now I'm just doing up and down, back and forth, okay? Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a little bit more, my lightest color, to this middle. I hope this is gonna make sense, you guys, because I really love this now that it's kind of seems like it's working a little bit. And then I'm going to add a little bit more of my Palmetto now on this outer part. Okay, spraying it. I'm going to work inner, out. So you see how it's getting light over here, and I'm going to fix that. I hope you guys can see that.
Ew. A bird just shit on my head.
So a bird just shit on my husband's head. That's supposed to be good luck, I think.
I felt something hit my head. I'm like, what is that? Like a berry out of the tree. I look how a bird flies off.
You're good luck.
Gross.
That hasn't happened to me, I think, since middle school. For some reason, we had a lot of seagulls that would fly around the school, and any given day, it could have been the one. Okay, so now I've added a little bit of my Antebellum blue to the very outer parts. You guys, I'm spraying again. I know it seems like it's a lot of water, but this is what it is. I'm gonna work outer in.
I'll be right back, okay?
Poop on my hair. Right here.
No.
Ew, that's freaking gross. Oh my god.
At least you had your hat on. So the good thing about Dixie Belle paint is that it's self-leveling. So it really bothers me when I see any like streaks. But when it dries, you're really not going to see that. And right now, my brush strokes are pretty light. I am not using a heavy hand right now. Okay, you guys, so you can kind of see how this is going. And it's looking good. So what's going to end up happening is I'm going to end up doing this twice. I'm going to let this dry and then a little bit and then come back. Okay, you guys, so hopefully this looks okay because I feel like with the video camera it doesn't look as good as it looks in real life. It looks blotchier on the video.
Yeah.
So in here you can clearly see. So we're going dark, medium, light. Okay, dark, medium, light. So that went good. So now I want to show you how I was doing the top part. So again, it's kind of a similar process. So spraying with water, water, water. Okay, I'm going to start with my medium again. I don't think I put too much water, but could have maybe. Okay, and then I'm doing my dark. Same process. It's actually dark up here too. And then right in this perfect curve is my light. Okay. So I'm taking my blending brush that I keep wiping, and I'm gonna start with my medium and work a little bit into my light color. And then I'm gonna go to the bottom, my dark.
Kind of looks like an ocean thing.
Mm-hmm. So the point is to get rid of these lines, right? So again, I can kind of do a crisscross and then back and forth and kind of cleans up that look. So it looks really pretty. Again, in the video, I think it looks
Blotchier.
a little bit darker than it is. So when this dries, yeah. So when it dries, it's gonna look similar to the front. And the front looks chalky because when the paint dries, but when I put a clear coat on this, it's gonna look nicer. And then that's basically it. So I'm gonna let this dry, see how it looks, see how I like it, and then I'll come back and do it again if needed. So that's it. Okay, so this is the blended look that we're trying to accomplish. So just remember that it is better to do multiple thin coats because we're spraying with so much water, the coat is going to be thin. You want to do multiple coats versus, 1, 2, or 3 heavy coats. So I'm definitely going to be going back over this a couple of times until I get the final product that I'm looking for. I hope this helped and that you guys got something from it. Thanks so much.